You know what's wild? I was talking to my cousin last week, and she told me she's been saving for a house for 3 years. 3 years! So I asked her, okay, how much have you saved? She said about $8,000. And I'm like, wait, you make 60 grand a year, you've been saving for 3 years, and you have $8,000? Where's the other 172,000 that passed through your bank account? And she just looked at me like I'd asked her to solve a calculus problem. That's when I realized most people aren't actually saving for a house. They're just hoping money magically appears in their account faster than it disappears. My name is Oric, and I spend way too much time thinking about why people who desperately want to own a home somehow can't figure out how to save for one. If you're someone who's been saving for years, but your down payment fund looks more like a down payment suggestion, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Here's the thing. The median home price in America right now is around $380,000. That means for a 20% down payment, you need $76,000. Not 7,600, 76,000. And look, I know what you're thinking. Oric, I can do an FHA loan with 3.5% down. Sure, you can. That's about $13,300. But here's what most people don't realize. That lower down payment means you're paying PMI, which on a $380,000 house is going to run you somewhere between $150 to $250 a month. That's $1,800 to $3,000 a year you're just lighting on fire because you couldn't save a proper down payment. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let me tell you why most down payment savings plans fail before they even start. The average American, according to the Federal Reserve's latest data, has less than $5,000 in savings. $5,000, and we're supposed to save $76,000? The math doesn't math, right? Wrong. The math is fine. It's your behavior that's broken. See, here's where it gets really interesting. Most people approach saving for a house the same way they approach their New Year's resolution to go to the gym. They say, I'm gonna save $500 a month, with absolutely no plan for what happens when their car needs new tires or their friend gets married or they just really want to go to that concert. So what happens? Life happens, and that $500 a month turns into $200, then zero, then negative because you put the car tires on a credit card. I did a poll on my community tab last month. Out of 16,000 responses, 68% said they'd been actively saving for a home for more than a year. But when I asked how much they'd saved, the median answer was under $10,000. That means most people are saving less than $800 a month while somehow thinking they're crushing it. Look, I'm not here to make you feel bad. I'm here to give you a plan that actually works. Because the difference between people who own homes and people who rent forever isn't income. A study from Zillow found that the median first-time home buyer makes about $78,000. You know what the median renter makes? About $62,000. That's a $16,000 difference, which sounds like a lot until you realize that's not enough to explain why one person has a $76,000 down payment and the other has $5,000 in savings. The real difference is psychological. Homeowners treat their down payment fund like it's their firstborn child. Renters treat it like a piggy bank they can raid whenever something shiny catches their attention. So here's your actual plan. Not the fantasy version where you try to save more, the real version that works. Step 1, and I cannot stress this enough, open a separate high-yield savings account that you literally never touch. Not at your regular bank, somewhere else, somewhere annoying to access. I use one that takes 3 business days to transfer money out. Why? Because when I'm drunk on a Saturday night thinking about buying a jet ski, I can't impulse transfer the money. By Tuesday, I've remembered I don't even like jet skis. Right now, good high-yield savings accounts are paying around 4 to 4.5%. That means if you save $2,000 a month, after 3 years, you won't have $72,000. You'll have $77,000. The interest actually covers a good chunk of your down payment. But here's the thing, you have to actually put the money in there. Step 2, automate everything, and I mean everything. The day after your paycheck hits, before you've thought about groceries or gas or anything else, a fixed amount moves to that down payment account. How much? Here's the formula. Take your target down payment, let's say $76,000, divided by the number of months you want to wait. Want to buy in 3 years? That's 36 months. 76,000 divided by 36 is $2,111 a month. Can you afford that? If not, adjust your timeline or your target price, but pick real numbers based on actual math, not vibes. Now you might be thinking, Auric, I don't have $2,000 extra dollars a month just lying around. I know, that's step 3. You have to actually cut things. And I'm not talking about the latte thing that finance people won't shut up about. I'm talking about the big stuff nobody wants to address. Your car payment. The average new car payment in America is $716 a month. $716. You know what that is over 3 years? $25,776. That's a third of your down payment. Sell the car. Buy a $10,000 used Toyota. I know it's not sexy. Home ownership isn't sexy, but it's smart. Your rent. If you're paying $2,000 a month for a one-bedroom because it has exposed brick and is in a trendy neighborhood, move. Find a place for $1,400. That's $600 a month, $7,200 a year. Over 3 years, that's $21,600. Combined with the car thing, you're almost at 50 grand right there. Subscriptions and services. I looked at my cousin's bank statement. She's paying for Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, HBO Max, Spotify, Apple Music, a gym membership she hasn't used in 6 months, 2 separate food delivery subscriptions, and something called FabFitFun that costs $50 a quarter. All in, she's spending about $280 a month on subscriptions. That's $2,880 a year. Cut all of it, except maybe one streaming service. Save $2,400 a year. It adds up. But here's what most people don't realize. Saving for a house isn't about depriving yourself. It's about deciding that 3 years of strategic discomfort is worth 30 years of not handing money to a landlord. It's a trade, but you have to actually make the trade. Step 4, and this is crucial, increase your income. I know, easier said than done, but look, if you're serious about buying a house, you need to be serious about making more money. That could mean asking for a raise. The average raise from job hopping is 14%. If you make $60,000, that's $8,400 a year. Do it twice in 3 years, and you've added real money to your down payment fund. Or it could mean a side hustle. Before you roll your eyes, listen. I'm not saying you need to become an influencer or start a drop shipping empire. I'm saying, can you tutor kids in your field for $40 an hour? Can you freelance 5 hours a week? 5 hours at $40 is $200 a week. That's $800 a month, $9,600 a year. Over 3 years, that's $28,800. Step 5, the windfall strategy. Any money that isn't your regular paycheck goes straight to the down payment fund. Tax refund, down payment. Birthday money, down payment. Grandma gave you $100, down payment. That work bonus you got, all of it, down payment.
The average tax refund is around $3,000. If you're getting a refund, you're essentially giving the government an interest-free loan, which is dumb, but that's a different video. Point is, $3,000 a year over 3 years is $9,000. It adds up. Step 6, and this is where people mess up, don't touch it, ever, for any reason. But Auric, what if there's an emergency? That's what your emergency fund is for. You should have 3 to 6 months of expenses saved separately. If you don't have that, build that first, then start the down payment fund. Because the second you raid your down payment fund for a one-time emergency, it becomes a regular checking account in your brain. Let me give you a real example. Let's say you make $70,000 a year. That's about $51,000 after taxes, or $4,250 a month. If your rent is $1,400, your car is $300 because you bought used, your groceries are $400, your utilities are $150, your gas is $150, your insurance is $200, your phone is $75, and you budget $200 for everything else, that's $2,875 in expenses. You've got $1,375 left. Now you pick up a side hustle making $800 a month. Now you've got $2,175 a month going to your down payment fund. In 3 years, with a 4% interest rate, you'll have about $82,000. That's a 20% down payment on a $410,000 house. Is it easy? No. Does it require sacrifice? Absolutely. But here's the alternative. You keep doing what you're doing. You save when you can. You hit 35, 40, 45, still renting, watching your landlord raise your rent every year, building zero equity, and wondering why you can't get ahead. The psychology of this is simple. Poor people think about money weekly. Middle-class people think about money monthly. Wealthy people think about money yearly and generationally. When you automate your down payment savings, you're forcing yourself to think long-term. You're playing a different game than people who are just trying to make it to next Friday. Here's the thing that nobody tells you. The hard part isn't saving the down payment. The hard part is deciding you're the kind of person who saves down payments. Once you make that identity shift, the behavior follows. You stop seeing that money as yours to spend. It's already spent. It's already a house. You're just waiting for reality to catch up to your decision. And look, I get it. 3 years feels like forever when you're living in a place you hate, driving a car you're embarrassed by, saying no to stuff your friends are doing. But you know what feels even longer? 30 years of renting. 30 years of making someone else rich. 30 years of having nothing to show for the single biggest expense in your life. You can do this. The math works. The plan works. You just have to decide that future you is more important than present you's comfort. And yeah, that's hard. But you know what's harder? Being 50 and still renting because you needed to have the nice car in your 20s. Set up that account today. Automate the transfer. Make the plan. Stick to it. And in 3 years, you'll be signing closing papers instead of a lease renewal. Let's go.